Hello everybody, this is a SheetGPT full demo video. I'm going to go over everything that you can do with SheetGPT, all the functions that we have available, what their use case is, how to use them, and just generally the power of AI in Google Sheets and show you some examples of how you can use this. So let's get straight into it. I'm going to be talking mostly about the functions that we can do within SheetGPT, but when you buy SheetGPT, you basically have all of these different options of ways that you can interact with your data or create new data within your spreadsheet. So the core two functions are the AI function and the GPT-4 function. They both do the same thing. You can basically ask AI a prompt. So imagine if you're talking to ChatGPT, you type a prompt. You can do the same thing by typing equals AI and then put your prompt in quotes just like that. And so an example would be AI summarize this data, and then you can link to another cell within your spreadsheet. So summarize this data, and this would call the A2 cell. And you can do the same thing with GPT-4, which basically just gives you like better output. This is only available if you bought the version with GPT-4 in it. So make sure that you buy that version if you want to use GPT-4. Now, some of these other ones, these are all more based on using web browsing within SheetGPT. So you can visit a specific URL, and what that does is it'll return all of the page content. I'll show you what that looks like in a second. You can go to the search engines, type your search query, and get a table of the top 20 results from the search engines, and along with just general page data, which I'll show you all this in just a second. But let's go ahead and get started with a very simple example. And then later I'll show you a more advanced example that actually uses some of these web browsing features. So just to use the AI example for a super simple example, let's say we have a list of keywords. Let's say we have a running shoe website and we want to rank for more keywords for running shoes. We have basically best running shoes for a bunch of different things. Let's go ahead and use AI to help us write an article for all of these different keywords. So what we could do is type in article title, and we could ask AI, write me an SEO optimized article title that includes this exact keyword, blah, blah, blah. You can make that however you want in terms of like what you're actually asking the AI, but I'm just making this super simple. So we're going to ask that for that first cell. So we have that there. And what we can do is now if you go in this bottom right corner, you can actually double click that, and it's going to go through the entire list and just automatically create an article title for every single one of those keywords. So it's super helpful to basically create AI content at scale for all of the data that you already have in a spreadsheet. So it's super, super helpful for that. Now, this is pretty much done. Okay, we got all of these. We got one error, and sometimes that will happen. So you'll basically just go in there, add an extra space or something, and then rerun it, and it should be fine. So now we have all of our titles. We could do the exact same thing with the article introduction and do the same thing and ask AI to write an article introduction for all of these. So you basically build a bunch of AI content at scale, all with this SheetGPT software. Now, obviously this is a simple example and you might want to curate this better, but the nice thing is that it's super, super open for whatever your idea is. So you can prompt it exactly how you want and get the AI to respond with how you want, just like you can in ChatGPT, but do that at scale in Google Sheets. So that is the main benefit. I'm gonna go over some other stuff though. But before I do, this is super, super important. So listen up. This is extremely important if you're using this tool. So whenever you're creating with AI, you want to do it on an optimal budget, right? So whenever you create something with AI, go ahead and like get the whole section, Control C to copy it, and then Control Shift V to paste as values. Otherwise, what's going to happen is when you come back to the sheet, like in a couple days or something, it might reload some of the AI data, and then you get charged twice basically for the same thing that you've already been doing. So always remember Control C, Control Shift V. And then I think if you're on Mac, it's like Command Shift V. If you don't know that, go to Edit, Paste Special, Values Only, and it'll show you the keyboard shortcut. But that is super important whenever you're creating with AI or using some of the other tools. But the AI one is especially important so you don't get charged twice. Okay, now let's go over some of the web browsing features that you can do within SheetGPT, because this is a huge, huge feature that pretty much no one else offers, and it's extremely, extremely valuable. So I'm going to first show you the visit function, and then we'll go over some of these other ones. So the visit function, basically, the easiest way is just to show you what it is. So when you go to a site, so equals visit, and then you put in a URL in between quotes, what it's going to do is it's going to return all of the page content on that page. And if I were to go to this actual website, it's all of the same exact content that you see here. Sometimes you'll see, and I'm going to paste as values again, Control-Shift-V. There's going to be some stuff like logo. It's going to return some like stuff that's not necessarily necessary, but that's just the nature of like web scraping. Now, in some of your ChatGPT prompts, you might be asking ChatGPT to go to a website and do something for you. So you might say, hey, ChatGPT, go to this website and summarize the content on the page. What you could do is the exact same thing now within Google Sheets. So you could say, AI, summarize this, then just link to the cell. And now I just paste that as values again, but you can kind of see exactly what it just said right there. So pretty helpful. And it's a way to basically interact with live data on the web for whatever page URL you want. Now, I'm going to show you a little bit more advanced use case. So let's say we use the SERP function, which is the search engine result page. It's going to grab the top 20 results specifically on DuckDuckGo, but for any search term. So let's stay within that niche of best running shoes for men, and let's go ahead and call that. Now, what it's going to do is return the title, the description, and then the URL. So now we have all of the top results from the search engines in a nice formatted list. And what we could do again is copy, paste as values. And the reason we would do that is because if we, did undo on an accident, it would get rid of some of that data. But also if we deleted that first one, it deletes all of them because that's where the function is. So again, copying and pasting as values, super helpful for this situation as well. So now what we're going to do is get page data, and I'm going to just basically show you how this looks. And you can do this for a variety of URLs. So I'm going to just do it for the first few here and go ahead and just call that. So page data, and then gave it a list of URLs. And you could just type in the URLs with commas in between them too. And I'll show you that in a second. And this is a really, really cool function. And what this did, well, actually, let me show you another little tip here. So if it reloads and there's like huge cells here, what you can do is click on the topmost cell, scroll down a little bit, and then hold shift and click that one, and then just make it slightly smaller, and then it's going to be a lot easier to read the data. Okay, so now we have all of this different page data for all of these different URLs, and some of them it's not going to work because they block basically people who try to scrape information from their site, and so unfortunately, you just can't access it. So for something like that one, again, I just copied and pasted that values, and I deleted that row. But now we have all of the headings, all of the paragraphs, the H1, the meta description, meta title, and everything about all of these different pages. And so we could use this data to basically, okay, let's find all of the information that's common in between all of these pages, and then start structuring an article around that again, which would be the SEO use case, but you could use this for anything. And the nice thing too is you can grab any of that information that's in that table. You can just do it on its own for a specific URL. And to just give another use case here, what we could do is you ask AI. So basically I'm telling it that I have a list of headings and I want them to return an outline that is specifically SEO optimized. So now we just asked AI that, and we can see what they say. And now we have an optimized SEO outline based on real data that is already ranking on the search engine. So really cool and super helpful for SEO purposes. And I'm just from the SEO world, so that's kind of where my mind goes. But there's so many use cases that I've thought of for this to be able to like basically analyze your data in bulk using AI. So it's really helpful. And like creating your own data sets is a whole other video I could go over, where you're basically like, let's say you have a little bit of a data set, you can enrich that data so much by basically asking or giving some of that data to the AI and prompting around that and being able to create a more unique data set. And again, that goes back to SEO. You could do some programmatic SEO by creating a really unique data set using this tool. So anyways, that's it. I'm going to stop the video there, but hopefully this was helpful and you start to see the value that comes with SheetGPT. Anyways, that's it. Thanks for watching, and I hope you purchase it. See ya.